joining us. I'm Katie Barrie, and you're watching The Next Step. Today, we take a look at internships and how they can catapult you into your career. With a negative economy and a depressed job market facing them after graduation, some college students may find it extremely difficult to find a job. Internships are a great way for young professionals to transition from college into their respective career fields. Before I introduce today's guests, we're going to take a look at what two Norfolk State University students had to say about their internships and the importance they have in furthering their careers.
I'm an intern at WHRO Studios in Norfolk, Virginia. I think internships prepare you mentally for the workload that you would be receiving in a career. Anytime you get into a career field, there's a certain amount of work that you have to do. And if you're not prepared for it, if you don't have any kind of experience going into it, it could probably lead to some issues. So I think it's valuable. It's a valuable experience.
It's giving me the opportunity to see exactly what it is I'm going to be doing when I get out into the field. It's giving me the opportunity to respect others in the field that have much more experience than I do, and I also respect their constructive criticism that I'm given daily throughout my internship.
It's important to have an internship because you get real world experience. You know, you learn the job, so you actually go to a facility that you would normally get a career in, or that you want to get a career in. You actually learn everything that it takes to be a part of that occupation.
Landing your first job can be an overwhelming experience. However, an internship is a wonderful opportunity to learn more about your job, decide what aspect you're going to take on in your career, and get your foot in the door, which could lead to a job opportunity. And the students here at Norfolk State University are doing just that. For The Next Step, I'm Katie Barrie. Joining us today is Barbara Ham-Lee, Chief Community Engagement Officer at WHRO, as well as the host and executive producer of Another View. Dr. Wanda Brockington, Associate Professor and Department Chair of the Mass Communications and Journalism Department at Norfolk State University. Dr. Brockington also serves as an internship coordinator at Norfolk State. And finally, Lisa Godley, producer and internship executive for Another View. Welcome, ladies. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. Thank you so much for joining us. My first question is actually for you, Dr. Brockington.
Okay.
We want to start at the beginning, so just explain to us what exactly is an internship.
It is what I call the education outside of the classroom. We do what we can for the foundation and we give the basic skills, but we feel that the students need to experience what it's like in the professional world. We stress punctuality, we stress professionalism, we stress the ability to take constructive criticism. Our internship is geared to hopefully allow the interns to give their place of employment a lot of good work, and also to give them a feel for the real world.
All right, and I know that you're very instrumental in the internship program at Norfolk State. What exactly are the requirements? Are they required to fill a certain amount of hours, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, our basic requirements are 200 hours, and this is usually in a semester, although it can be during the summer. 200 hours of work, a completed project, a final report, and then they keep a tally of their weekly hours so that we can monitor that.
Okay. Lisa, I know that you've been in this business for a while now, but back in your college years, I know that you had about 5 or 6 internships. Why did you have so many internships?
Because I knew I was very interested in journalism. I just wasn't 100% certain of which avenue I wanted to follow. So I went to 2 television stations with internships, 1 national magazine, a couple of local newspapers, and a radio station, and I figured out which one was my niche that way.
And what was the biggest lesson you learned about that whole process, having 6 internships?
What I was good at, or what I was better at. And I knew I had a lot of opportunities when I was at Red Book in New York for that summer, and I loved that whole being in New York thing, but everything moved so slow. It was just, you got a month, you know, and I just, I need something to move a little faster, and that's when I said that it's got to be television.
All right, and Miss Barbara, I learned in a previous conversation that you actually landed your first job from an internship.
Absolutely.
So tell us just a little bit about that, and how did you actually get a job from an internship?
Well, I really encourage students to do internships simply because I was hired from my internship. It was at WBAL in Baltimore, and I interned. After I graduated, I called them and said, "Okay, hire me. I'm great." They said there were no openings, but come in and take a writing test. I took the writing test, and before I got home, they called to offer me a job because the production assistant had walked in and quit right after my interview. So I chalk it up to some serendipity, some luck, but also they knew that they knew my work habits, they knew my skill level because I had done my internship there.
Dr. Brockington, do you find that students in your department who have been involved in internships are more prepared when they get out of college for the job market and are more successful at finding a first job right out of college?
I would say yes. We don't require internships, but we highly recommend them. And I think what Lisa said is very valid. An internship can help you decide what you want to do. It can also help you decide what you don't want to do. And Barbara's points were well taken too. We have a lot of interns who do walk right into open positions, but I always tell them you have to make yourself missed. When your time has come and gone and the professionals look around and say, "Where's so-and-so?" that means you've done a really good job if they're seeking to fill your void, bring you back. So both of them had very, very excellent points, and internships are a key. In fact, these days, as competitive as the market is, they're almost always looking for people who've had internship experience from the network level on down.
You know, because especially in television, it's kind of a vicious circle because you need experience in order to get in, but you can't get in because you don't have the experience.
Exactly.
And so the internship really allows you that opportunity.
Would you say, Dr. Brockington, that students who haven't had an internship compared to students who do have internships get more jobs right out of?
I would say so. You know, you always have excellent students who are going to achieve no matter what. But the internship, I think, gives you an extra step up. You've been in the environment, you speak the language, you know how things run in the real world, and I think that's got to give you an advantage.
Right. Lisa, being that you're the intern executive here at WHRO, what qualities do you look for in an intern?
I'm usually looking for go-getters. I'm looking for people that are very interested in learning and people who want to know. They want to know what this is all about. They want to know what they can learn. They want to write better. They want to know what they're supposed to do on camera. They want the whole package, and they want opportunities. And I love it here because they really get an opportunity to do a little bit of everything. I mean, I've worked in newsrooms before where interns don't get an opportunity to do a little bit of everything. Here you get an opportunity to do a little bit of everything, and I think it helps.
That leads me to my next question. I mean, clearly you allow your interns to do, get hands-on experience. When I originally started thinking of internships, I thought, I'm going to be getting coffee for these producers. And if that's what's going to get me a job, I'll do that. But do they really get the hands-on experience? You know, how much can they do?
Here you can do just about everything. I tell them everything I do, you're going to learn to do. Be it writing, whatever you're interested in, I'm going to do my best to help you learn to do that well.
All right, and Barbara, do you have any different qualities that you look for in a candidate?
Well, I depend on the interns actually to help me, particularly in researching for the shows that we do for Another View. I'm looking for someone that I can say, here's the topic we're working on, go find me some background on it, and that they take the initiative to be able to do that. To me, that shows that they can work on their own, that they have a strong work ethic, and that they are willing to do what it takes. So that's what I look for.
Okay, Dr. Brockington, in my experience, with my fellow classmates, I find that they're just so scared to get an internship because they just don't know where to look. Do you have any things involved at Norfolk State, any classes or material that can help them in finding an internship, or how does all that work at Norfolk State?
Well, there are a variety of ways that we can locate internships. We have a board in the main office, and I post everything. If not in the main office by itself, then Mrs. Hoffler Foster, our advisor, has a huge board up in her office, so you can find out that way. And then I get emails daily. Somebody's looking for a PR intern. Somebody's looking for something else. I have a lady who owns a production company, and they're covering a gospel event this weekend. She's looking for 2 interns. So when I get that information, I usually shoot it off to one of my colleagues who would best know which person to recommend, or where the top students are. And then I make it generally available. As you know, I announce those things in class quite frequently. So there are a variety of ways. Often the students find their own internships. They come in with the applications and need a signature. So it's a little bit of everything. I provide information, they do research, and then outside people come looking.
Great. And as part of that internship program, the class that is offered, do they have to turn in a final report? How do you know that they're doing the work the whole way through?
They have to. Well, the supervisor on that end, I have all of the contact information, and they have all mine. So the assumption is that that person would call me if something was wrong, and we trust that the intern is doing what they're supposed to do. And at the end of the process, first of all, there are weekly reports that sum up what they've done for that week. And at the end of the process, there should be a final report as well as a final product. And that final product should be a demonstration of what skills they've mastered. So yeah, we have 2 or 3 measures to go for our success.
All right, and my final question is actually for all of you ladies. I'm just going to go one by one. If you could give an intern who is graduating and going out to their career field any advice, what would it be?
Well, if you can start with me.
Yeah.
My advice would be to them to make sure that they keep in touch with the people that they've interned with. You'd be surprised at how many people leave and they never call back, or they never check in to see, is there an opening, or may I use you for a reference, or anything like that. So you should always ask ahead of time before they leave that internship, is it okay if I use you for a reference for future jobs that I'm looking for, and also to just keep in touch.
And do you find that most people are willing to be a reference for?
It depends. It depends.
If it's a positive
experience, and if the person, and I'm speaking for myself, if I see that someone really is a hard worker, and that I would feel comfortable that they would represent me in a new opportunity, because that's my reputation. And if I'm recommending someone and they don't step up to the plate, then that's not good. So it depends.
My mom used to always say, see things that need to be done. And I think that's important. I like students to go out and have initiative. Don't just sit around and wait for somebody to say, I need for you to do this, do that. Have initiative. See things that need to be done and do them. And I also tell them, once they've finished whatever that task is, go to another department and see if you can learn things over there too. Make the most of the experience.
And quickly, Lisa?
Just never give up.
Great.
If it's something you really want, stick to it. I tell students all the time, it took me 1 year from the time I got my master's degree to get my first job. So if it's something you want, just keep at it. Don't let anybody discourage you.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Whether they give you insight into your chosen career or even land you your very first jobs, internship can be a great opportunity for students entering the job market for the very first time. Thanks again for watching. I'm Katie Barrie, and we'll see you next time as we plan the next step.